What's her name? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome again. My name is Delrisha. This is Carmen. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and you as well, Anissa.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. Happy Juneteenth. Yay. I am Carmen. I am the chief storyteller and strategist at Nice Media Group, which is a print and digital media firm. We specialize in campaigns, helping people get their story out there and figuring out who to tell it to. So you'll see us do social media campaigns. You'll see us develop a website. You'll see us communicate through your text messages or your email marketing. Or, after coronavirus, you'll see some of the signage that we've done for people at events. So happy to be here. And I am the good friend of Delrisha. She's invited me once again to come and have a discussion. So excited to be a part of this evening.
That was so beautiful, Carmen. My name is Anissa Strings. I'm an artist and message music type of artist from Oakland, California. Good friend of Delrisha. She asked me to come join and help talk about some truth and some liberation on Juneteenth. A beautiful day, so I'm here to talk and play a tune for y'all.
So I'm gonna briefly open up. Thank you everybody for being here. I tapped both of them to collaborate on this event because I knew I wasn't going anywhere because the shelter in place ordinance, and so I thought, what better way to celebrate Juneteenth than to convene a bunch of folks and talk about Black history, Black joy, Black love, Black family, and what this looks like as a next step moving forward. So this is supposed to be Black as hell. And so if you are not Black, that is fine too. We ask that you just, take in the experience, learn from what folks are sharing, from the stories that they're sharing. All are invited into this space. And really, most importantly, I want people to realize and understand that Juneteenth is American history. It's not just a Black holiday to celebrate, right? Like, this is a part of the American landscape. And so I'm going to start by talking a little bit about what Juneteenth is. So I have an excerpt that I'll read, and then we'll open up our show with Jazz B, who will bring forth her beautiful vocals. She's going to sing the Negro National Anthem. So Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration commemorating the end of slavery in the United States, dating all the way back to 1865. It was on June 19th that the Union soldiers, there you go, Maya, we see you now.
Hey.
Hey, welcome. Maya's gonna give us a poem in a bit. It was on June 19th that the Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed in Galveston, Texas, with news that the war had ended and that the enslaved were now free. Note that this was 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which had become official on January 1st, 1863. And so the reason why we celebrate, when they gave that news to the slaves, there was pure shock and what they would call immediate jubilation. And so Juneteenth is also known as Jubilee Day or Freedom Day as well. And so it's a wonderful day to talk about freedom and liberation, and given the context of the global community, especially now, it's important to convene in spaces like this. So that said, I'm going to have Jazz B, and her hashtag is Jazz B Singing, and y'all need to check that out because Sis can sing. She's going to go ahead and sing the Negro National Anthem. Jasmine.
Hello, everybody. Happy Juneteenth. Let's get into it. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high at the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat hath not our weary feet come to a place for which our Father sighed. We have come, oh, we have come over a way that with tears has been watered. Oh, we have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee, shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land.
I need everybody to take their stuff off mute and give her a round of applause.
Oh my God.
Yes, girl. Yes.
Yes, girl.
God damn.
Yes.
Oh my God. Damn.
Thank you so much, Jasmine, for really, I mean, the chat box people are sharing, like, you really have grounded us. And that's a wonderful, wonderful way to bring our ancestors into this space and to really capture the moment. So thank you so very much.
Yes, God bless you all.
And feel free, I mean, Jasmine, do you have anything you want to share just in terms of how people can keep up with you and maybe what Juneteenth means to you as well?
Well, I am on Instagram, Jasmine O. Butler. I'm currently serving as worship pastor at Emmanuel Baptist Church. I'm the youngest person of leadership ever in the 55-year history of the church. We are, I think, the largest Black church in the South Bay for sure. So I'm there. We're doing virtual service online right now. And just with everything that's been going on, Juneteenth is really just a day where I'm so excited to see Black people enjoying our Blackness. We have gone through so much, and like the words of the song says, like, God has still brought us so far, although we have so much work to do and so far to go, we're still here, we're resilient, we're beautiful, we're magic. And Juneteenth, I'm just excited to celebrate that.
Thank you so much. And you folks are trying to follow you, so can you drop your information in the
course.
group? And also, don't forget to drop your Cash App. We encourage paying folks for their gifts. So if anybody feels like they want to share. But yeah, Jasmine O. Butler or Venmo. Yeah, Arabella said or Venmo. Good stuff. Hey, Michael. Hey, Luna. Okay, so let's go ahead and that was amazing. That was just amazing. We have more amazing coming up. Right now, we're gonna go ahead and kick it off to Maya. Maya is also an incredible vocalist and poet and actress. She really is triple, quadruple threat, and she's also based here in Chicago. Maya, go ahead and introduce yourself and your work and share what you have for us.
Hello, everybody. Happy Juneteenth. Wait. Okay. Oh, y'all muted. Okay, hold on. I'm tripping. I'm like, I can't hear y'all.
Happy Juneteenth, sis. Happy Juneteenth.
I'm weak. Okay. So anyway, yes, as Dell said, I'm an actress and a poet based in Chicago. Today, I have a couple poems for you. I won't, give too much background. I'm just gonna read them. How's that? Okay. It's the first one. Limitless boundaries, armor foundries, up my dowry. See, word around town is there's a new queen on the scene, claiming she reigns supreme and dancing through your man's dreams. If you're ever so pleased to meet said queen, you better come correct, no flaw or flex, cause it's a bet she'll snatch that thing right out your chest. Devil in a white dress, fire starting territory marking lioness, alert the press. You gotta know her to appreciate her like wine. Show her you ain't here to waste her time, cause if you don't polish it right, it won't shine. Voice like an echo, remind you of all the shit you thought you let go. Sankofa on the track, so DJ, run that shit the fuck back. I said, Sankofa on the track, so DJ, run that shit the fuck back. Wrecking ball in relationships, spitting fire like a fucking spaceship, higher than a kite, cause ain't no strings can tie this bitch running through your mind with 6-inch heels on this shit. Man, she lit. Ain't no regular ass nigga can handle it. They bite off more than they can chew, cause who knew she say what she feels, give them the feels, then check up the deuce if she ain't feeling you. Juicy fruit, sweet, warhead, sour. Juicy fruit sweet till the warheads start to shower, use their power, make it rain, bombs, bullets, planes, and things. It's a shame, but this queen though, this queen that reigns supreme with a voice like an echo, reminding you of the shit you let go emerges from the smoke. Her people in tow, skin of steel protecting a fragile heart, skin of steel absorbing every blow. A force to be reckoned with, most will never really know, but 9 times out of 10 you'll benefit in some way, shape, or on a whim from a seed she's sown. Who am I? Good question, because I'm just the messenger. I ain't even ever met the girl. That's that one. And can you stop recording me? Yeah. Sorry. And okay, here we go. Ever since I was a little girl, since I can remember, my father told me, Maya, don't look down and keep your chin up. My mama dearest always told me how to be a winner, because to raise a queen like me, it took a whole village. A shame how all these days will float away, and in the US of A, we are still slaves. The worst part is when we respond like we supposed to, they only publish headlines that dumb down our culture. It's fucked up they won't stop killing us niggas. Turn ropes into bullets, modern day lynching us niggas. And I say nigga with the utmost respect. Origin of a word forced upon us, but we made it ours nonetheless. It pains me to see our kings and queens slaughtered, making me scared of my own dreams of having a son or a daughter. I dream that my son will shine so bright that he'll attract those who want to fuel it, but also those who want to take his light. I dream that my daughter's spirit will radiate, touch those who need her and anger those she intimidates. I wake up in cold sweats worrying about my unborn children, nightmares about young Nubians who don't even exist yet. What kind of evil can plant these seeds? The type of evil that has survived for centuries, bought, sold, beat, annihilated entire families, took their self-given power and changed the course of history. But under this injustice system, we will never be free. Steady trying to break us down because they scared of what we could be. It's time to rewrite some laws because this system is flawed. Even our own people supporting injustice to save their jobs. What if everybody wanted to do right? What if we sometimes thought of others before ourselves? What if Black people didn't have to fear for our lives? What if when it came to us, the justice system didn't fail? Just because you scream he's got a gun doesn't mean one will appear. You got some personal issues you gotta stop, big fella, but you ain't gotta do it here. I just fucking can't live in constant fear that laughing or just being could cause my family to shed tears. Black lives matter no matter who the culprit is, no matter the day, the week, the month, or the hour that it is. But it's not a fucking coincidence that this unlawful enforcement happens to be killing only those with Black skin. What will I tell my daughter when she asks why I'm so protective? Or why I flinch every time a man with a badge looks in my son's direction? How will I teach them who and who not to trust when the ones doing the harm are supposed to be here to protect us? Sway don't have the answers. I don't have them. So I just look to God and pray better days are in his plan. A caged bird can't fly, but it can sing. And it damn sure can get killed by police. The end.
Amazing. Can we all unmute our stuff and give her a rousing round of applause?
Come through, Maya.
Thank you, guys.
That's good.
That was great. Yes, that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
All right. That was so beautiful, Maya. We really appreciate you sharing your art with us, you know, because art has always been an important part of spreading the news. You know, imagine if they had songs. I mean, can you believe, when you think about Juneteenth, right? Can you believe cats were still on the slave plantation for 2 whole years? Not knowing at all. I mean, today, you know, we got social media. You know what I'm saying? So anything happened, we know right away. I mean, you know, and then even back in Africa, before we came from slavery, we had the drum. You know, us in music, you know, us musicians, we have a joke. We say the drum is the first telephone, you know, because that's how we spread our messages. Here in North America, they didn't let us have drums. They let them keep them down in Haiti and Cuba and stuff like that. But they saw what we was doing. They heard them drums, and they saw brothers start jumping and moving. They was like, you got to take them away. So anyway, my point is this. Juneteenth, we were set free, right? And we had been free technically by the law for 2 whole years before.
2.5, almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years before they, thank you for that correction, Dale, before they went ahead and let everybody know the situation. And so, you know, you can say, you know, it can be said that we didn't give ourselves that freedom, that it was really just an argument that's still going on in this country, the civil war between, you know, the overt, you know, slave masters and the covert slave masters, because it's all the same. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln didn't care nothing about a Negro. He just didn't want America to be 2 different countries. He didn't want secession. Yeah. He didn't want the Confederacy to secede. That was his main motivation in freeing the slaves. And he said it. He said, I have no intention of making a slave or Negro equal to us. That's why they wrote us as 3/5 to the Constitution. So you can say that the legal freedom we enjoy today was not on our terms. And I think that's pretty evident and apparent. And I think the whole reason that me and Delrisha had came together to do this is because we wanted to talk to young, regular, everyday people our age about how we can set the terms of our own freedom. How can we go forth and set the terms of our own freedom? So I want to introduce the people on the panel, and I want you all to introduce yourselves one by one. Christian, why don't you start first? If you're available.
I am available. First of all, you guys are all amazing. Like, that's Jesus Christ. Like, I'm sitting here like, damn, Jazz B. Damn, I used to call you Maya Pretty Face, but I sense I'm never gonna do that anymore, because I was educated that's not the right way. But anyway, so you just Maya now. You just Maya. But you guys are all, and Anissa, I mean, talking about sending messages through Jump. Anyway, I'll keep it brief. My name's Christian.
Henley. I'm honored to be on the panel, and yeah, this is I've had so many enlightening conversations today that I can't wait to share once we get into talking. But yeah, my name's Christian, and I'm happy to be here.
Wait. Tell them what you do. What's your,
Okay. Well, you didn't tell me what the whole situation was. Okay.
Well, just introduce yourself. Give us some context as to why we care.
Okay. Yeah, my name's Christian. I'm an actor. I met Dale studying abroad in China. I went to Morehouse College for undergrad. I studied political science, and so that gives context of who I am.
Thank you so much. Let's get KaDijah. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. Just like Christian said, I'm super happy to be here. I want to thank Delrisha for inviting me. I went to Bennett College, the best college in the world, with Delrisha and with Carmen. So I'm glad to be in the space with my Bennett sisters and share the space with you all. I am a 5th grade teacher in Richmond, California. And I am also the school board director for the city of Berkeley for all of our wonderful schools in Berkeley, California.
And it's also important to note that KaDijah is actually leading a whole initiative to remove presidents' names from schools in Berkeley, which in their school district will be the first in the country to model that. Can you just say a little bit more about that, and we can talk more deeply in the conversation? I want you to just say a piece about that.
Okay, so I wrote a kind of 4-page Black Lives Matter resolution for the city of Berkeley that kind of addresses our institutional and also the systemic racism in our city. And within that resolution, it mandates our city to do a couple of things within the boundaries of our school district. So one is to host a year-round Black Joy campaign that celebrates the success of Black students and their families. It also mandates that during Black History Month, our educators really teach Black studies. If you're a science teacher, you're teaching about Black scientists and Black inventors, not just using it as an opportunity to do one little play for Black History Month, but really educating about our deep history, right? There's no reason why 50-year-olds are just learning about Juneteenth. And one of the most important thing that it does is removes names of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson from 2 of our schools. As we all know, they were slaveholders, or slaveholders. They owned slaves. And so for a lot of our students, for Berkeley, just like a lot of school districts, there's a huge achievement and opportunity gap. But the first most important thing is to allow and create spaces where our children feel comfortable and feel accepted. There's no go to school and do well if they're going to school named after people who own folks that look like them. So that's what we're doing in Berkeley. Y'all pray. If you pray hard. They coming for my neck and it's getting crazy, but it what it is. Much is given, much is required. So thank you for allowing me to talk about that.
Thank you for sharing that. And I interject to make that point because KaDijah is really young, and a lot of times, and we'll get to that in a moment, but a lot of times we talk about how we can get involved. And when we think about running for office, we think of it as something that only people who are in their 40s and 50s and up do. And that's not true. KaDijah is the youngest person elected to the school board in the district's history. And so when we think about our civic activism and what that looks like, you literally can start from anywhere. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Go ahead, Anissa.
Can I make a little start correction? Not just the youngest person to be on the school board, but the youngest person to be elected to any position in the city of Berkeley and its history over time. So.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for snapped in a circle 3 times. So thank you for that correction. Anissa.
Yes, it's beautiful. You know what? It makes me think about Stockton has a 28-year-old mayor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Black man with his wife and everything. So, it ain't no limits up in here. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. No limit. No, I'm just playing. I'm having fun. I just want to say this for the record. Because today, I'm in New York. I'm only here for a couple days. And I went to a Juneteenth celebration today at Fort Greene Park in Brooklyn. And it was Black people everywhere. I mean, nobody was social distancing. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. And I had fun. So I just want to say that for the record that, there are so many ways that we're celebrating. I mean, look at this, man. The people who don't want to, I'm doing both. I just feel versatile. So thank you for doing this, putting this together. So the next person we have that needs to introduce himself is Darryl. Come on, brother. Speak up, brother. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Darryl Davis. How you doing?
Doing well. Damn, I have very little to follow, but I'm Darryl Davis. I'm like from East Palo Alto Bay Area. So growing up, I don't know, has its own challenges. I'm right next to Palo Alto, which is like a predominantly white neighborhood, and like it's just the injustice is real and it's in your face and it's blatant. But other than that, I'm a big fashion head. I work at YSL right now. But I also I briefly worked at Facebook, which is like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's a great company. I mean, like, their mission is cool, but like their people, their leaders, the people who like run them are just like horrible. Corporate America ain't cool, you know. I learned that. So it's not for us ultimately. Like, we have to really build our own. But other than that, I'm a father. And yeah, I'm young as hell. This is crazy to me. That this is like going on right now, like the time and place, like everything, like with this revolt. I want to call it a revolution because damn near feel like we in it right now. But it's just crazy to see because like growing up, you always thinking about it in the back of your head, but like watching it happen and like just being a part of it, it's surreal.
Man, you know, I'm glad you commented on that. And I want to say this to all the people we invited. I'm going to introduce the last person. But the reason I know everybody's like, oh, I don't know why, you know, but the reason we picked everybody we picked because we thought about this, me and Dale, and Carmen, we really put this together. And we picked everybody because, you know, there's this big thing in the Black community, oh, where are our leaders, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, you know, yeah, we've had leaders and stuff, but like, okay, they've left legacies and blueprints and books and all kinds of stuff for us to follow. So when are we going to start leading our own lives in the way that it goes? So that's why I wanted to pick people who may not have big followings and platforms and everything, but are doing the work in their daily lives. This is like an everyday, how can you fight for your people every day? Not, you know, on when it's convenient and everything. So I want to introduce our last guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Nica Muhammad.
Hi, everybody. My name is, sorry about this. You will see me taking toilet paper out of my child's mouth. My name is Nica. I go by New. And first of all, I want to thank everybody for having this and having me here. I really appreciate this. And thank you to Anissa for inviting me and even considering me. I'm an artist based in LA. And I kind of have always been like the fighter type and like a rebeller against oppression. Like I ran away from home from an abusive parent as a teenager. And now that I'm looking back in my life, I realize that kind of set the tone for my attitude in terms of, you know, my views against the political and social issues that affect Black and brown and original people in America and pretty much all over the world. So, yeah, so most of my work and any of the things that I've done has been surrounding those things, and especially for women. I'm really passionate about that. I'm really passionate about liberation, freedom, and especially unity among Black people and brown people and original people, and the expression of those things through art, through the arts and music. So, and if there had to be a word that would describe my feelings toward everything that's going on and has went down, it would be separation. So I'm on team separation. So that's what, you know, that's my mentality when all of this comes to mind. I'm like, okay, great. We got some more people up in here. Let's talk about this detachment. So that's just me, you know, and yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for introducing yourself in that way. So we're gonna get right on into it. We have some questions prepared, and I want to let everybody know that it may get a little intense because it's gonna be. And I want y'all to be honest. And the reason why, I mean, we handpick people up.
Christian is notably laughing, by the way.
So me, Adele, and Carmen, we handpicked people that we knew came from different mindsets in the Black diaspora. We did this on purpose, okay?
We did it on purpose.
We did it on purpose. We put people of totally different ideas in this room, okay? Surprise! Because we are not going to all agree, okay? And I guarantee that, okay? And that's the point of this conversation, because I feel like many of us, we kind of thrive in settings where we're just kind of preaching to the choir. Where we hang with people who think like us and are moved like us. We don't necessarily always get to hear the other perspective, especially in a way where we got to talk face to face. Like, yeah, you can be to trigger finger all day long on the internet. But let's see how you handle yourself in a setting with Black people. I feel like it's so important for us to respect all facets of Black thinking. You know, the separatists, the Black nationalists, the civil rights, the church, the Nation of Islam, the LGBT, like all aspects of the Black diaspora to all have a voice. So the first thing we want to get into, since we're talking about, since brother Darryl Davis over here, since he mentioned all the revolts and everything. Okay, so let's just address this first with the police. So defund the police, what does that look like? Do we believe in it? How would you, if not, how would you redo the police? If yes, how would you redo the police? So if anybody wants to jump on in, I'm gonna be quiet, and I just want anybody who feels like they want to speak on that topic first, have strong opinions, go ahead and jump in.
And let me first just kind of set some context. What's happening in communities across the country is there's this national cry to defund the police. And the idea behind taking money away from the police is you're actually repurposing those dollars and reallocating them to community dollars that don't necessarily require a gun, right? So a lot of the times when police are called, usually they're called for a lot of domestic disputes that could be resolved through mental health counseling, through...
How you gonna steal our answers, Delrisha?
Oh, I'm just giving people context.
No, it's okay. Set it up. Paint the picture.
I just want to make sure that I'm framing. I'm sorry, but I just want to make sure I'm framing it because we hear a lot of thoughts and ideas, and I want people to be able to approach this conversation having something to, But I'm gonna shut up and.
These people are well researched, girl. These intelligent people. They reading every article every day.
Right, all day long. Outside of what I was gonna say that Delrisha said. People think defunding the police is such a radical idea, right? Especially kind of in my line of work. They're like, defund the police? Oh my God, why would we do that? We need the police. But they have to realize that defunding the police ain't a radical idea when we've been defunding education for forever, right? We just literally made $8 million last night, made $8 million worth of cuts in Berkeley, and West Contra Costa made $40 million worth of cuts to their budget, right? So we, as a society, have been defunding things for forever, but we need to really start defunding it where it counts. And so just like Delrisha was saying, that means move those funds to somewhere else or allocate those funds to other places. So right now we have police officers who are responding to mental health crises, right? They don't have enough training in mental health support. Defunding that area of the police department literally allows programs like BCRA, who is a Bay Area-based program that provides mental health services to those formerly incarcerated. Programs like that, or county programs that could provide real support to our communities. Along with that, another conversation has shifted to the idea of community policing. And community policing is a phenomenal idea if you know who's in your community, right? Yeah. The idea of community policing or neighborhood watch is unfortunately what happened in the death of Trayvon Martin, right? So you got to be careful about who the idea of community policing. For some communities, right, not necessarily the community I live in, because I'm surrounded by people that look like me, but in some areas, that gives permission for people who have their own agenda to push a hard line. And it sometimes creates places that are not safe for us. So I think that there are so many different conversations about it, and people are pushing their own agendas. And so I think the idea of community policing, it is wonderful if it's done well and if it's in a community where folks feel comfortable.
Sorry. Okay.
Go ahead. You want to speak? Go ahead.
Sorry, guys. Come here, Tweety Bird. I hear a lot about defunding the police and, you know, the memes and all that. I can't really say I actually know what that really means. Like, does it mean that somebody's going to say, all right, you guys don't get any money? Like, who's really pushing that button? I don't know. Like I said, I'm on team separation. And I learned that concept actually from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through his teachings and his representative, Mr. Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam. And one of the things that we learn is do for self. And when you know, the do for self has been kind of ingrained in my mind. So sometimes, you know, I think about that and you know, I think of the defund the police thing, and what comes to my mind is, how about making your own police? You know, we have to start demanding and commanding that we have a territory in place of our own, whether it's in America or wherever the hell. And obviously, you know, they're not going to, I don't think they have an intention of giving it to us. So we kind of have to pull our resources and really get serious about coming together in a separate state or territory of our own, because the fact of the matter is, we have enough sense, we have enough intellect, we have enough skills, knowledge, and talent to take care of ourselves. And I think that it's a little ridiculous to believe and to think that because changing laws and thinking that you're changing systems doesn't change the attitude and the nature of the person. We're dealing with a white Caucasian mind. So that's really what we're attacking, and I don't really know if it's worth it to continue to try to reform that mind, because, you know, it's been a series of thousands of years, you know, through historical events where they've had the opportunity to change. They've had people come time and time and again and say, hey, you're not doing the right thing. And, you know, it's kind of like we're in this weird cycle of like, you know, we go crazy and do these protests, but it's like we're going to continue to experience these fatalities, even more so than ever before. And since we have social media now, it's going to be even more in our face. And a lot of us, you know, we go through the motions, but until it knocks on our doors, you know, because I have a husband, I have brothers, you know, I have Black friends, and I think about that. I got pulled over a couple of days ago, and the first thing that came to my mind is, this is the day I die, because you're not about to catch me out here recording shit. Because, you know, so I think that we have to get into the mentality of, we need to separate, not be still in the world with them, asking them for anything, because that's not, no. Every human being, every creature has been gifted with a nature to take care of itself, and we have to start awakening that thing in us that knows how to take care of ourselves. You don't see a bird in the fucking bird line saying, hey, give me some worms. Like, no, that's just something that's unique to Black people in America, and we need to stop it, or else it's just going to keep on happening. And, you know, I just think it's ridiculous to ask for anything. Make your own police. We have the, you know, the ability to do it. So that's just my 2 cents about it. But again, if anybody knows like exactly how do you defund the police, like who does that? Is it some white lady somewhere, some compassionate white lady who's like, okay, I'll do it, you know, like the Starbucks people, okay, you know.
So
what is that?
That was a beautiful statement, Nica. And so what I want to say is that, you know, speaking of, I mean, this is a little comical, but I've seen some brothers on the internet, like, I mean, obviously, you know, in the Nation of Islam, you know, the police are is FOI, right?
Yeah.
You already have it. It's all been.
Yeah.
But there are some brothers on the internet called the Klux Busters.
Okay.
And it's like a joke. It's funny, right? And so they, you know, and so they made like a little joke, like, hey, call us. They got t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. And they're like, if the Klan gets you, which is we know is police. No, I'm joking. But if the Klan gets you, you know, call us, the Klux Busters. No. And it's funny, but it kind of matches what you're saying. So I want to answer that question about defunding the police. about like what it means as far as like, you know, because the thing is too, like, I like to think, I'm not here to talk about my opinion. I'm just here to mediate. That's what I'm here to do. Okay. But I want to say this, to address your point of the separatism and the staying together. So like AOC, right? What's her name? Alexandria
Ocasio-Cortez.
There you go. She said, the beauty about defunding the police, I think this was like the best summary that I saw. She said, the beauty about defunding the police is that we don't have to imagine it too big. All we have to do is look at a suburb, you know? And so basically, and I look at this as far as how we, you know, would govern ourselves, you know, like we could look at this government as what to do and what not to do if we were to be governing our own selves. And the value I feel in talking about these subjects in the context of being citizens of this place right now, whether we're mock citizens or second class or third or fifth class citizens or not, is that we have an example to look at of what works and what doesn't. Okay. So what AOC said that I felt was very impactful, she said, we don't have to think about it looking at a suburb. So basically, you know, in our communities where there's a lot of us, there's a whole lot of police, you know, and nothing is invested in things that keep people out of crime. You know, there's drugs put in the community, there's guns put in the community, like I said, for like you said, the entire time we've been here. And so there's no investment in education. You know, the tax dollars don't get put into schools. The tax dollars don't get put into mental health facilities, or even physical health facilities, or anything, or even outreach or anything that would help us help the people to want to do something that's not criminal.
It's like the system is designed to set up for people to do criminal things. Like you literally have created an environment where I have to do something
to survive.
To survive.
And then you come in here with a damn tank and a Uzi and a whole damn artillery and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, the crime is almost manufactured just so that the police can have the right to come and murder us, because we know that they are an extension. They have they have grown from slave patrol, right? We know that, right? So, and now they just have a badge of, you know, they just look a little different. So I would like to pose a question to Christian and David. I mean, it is David, right? Darryl Davis, my bad. Christian and Darryl, about being a Black man, and because I know a lot of Black women have been speaking on this police issue. I want to hear your voices as men, what it feels like for you and what you feel about this defunding.
And what it feels like to literally be the subject of conversation for the first time ever. Like I was watching, the other thing I want to add to this whole thing, and just to drop this off, Black men, is like all these like new shootings that are happening, right? Because it didn't stop at George Floyd. Like even the news outlets, the way that they're framing, the way that they're humanizing the Black man is unlike something I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen it. Ever. So how does that feel for you all, just as Black men, but specifically as Black men who are the literal focus of the world's attention right
now? Darryl, or should I go? Darryl, how you feeling?
I'm feeling, it's kind of surreal, but also at the same time, it feels, because of the history, it just feels like a gimmick. It feels like time will pass, like this is gonna get overlooked, things will go back to its regular place, because I'm all for like eradicating the police, not necessarily like just like defunding them, but like getting rid of them and starting our own thing. And like, but knowing our history alone, like that's not gonna happen. I mean, like our government just holds on to things and values. I mean, like we're just gonna need police in the world. But how I feel about it, instead of just having them having to be police officers, they should just be known as peace officers. I mean, like, because at the end of the day, they're there to just like not lay the law, but lay peace. I mean, like they work for the law, but they're not the law. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of times, you know, people that they get confused. I mean, like they only spend about 2 months in training, and they get like two hours worth of conflict resolution training throughout the whole entire year. I mean, like if y'all really want to defund, I mean, like if y'all don't want to defund the police, then y'all need to like really apply that money to like construct ways to like, you know, better them as people. I mean, like they need to be vetted before they out in the streets. Instead of 2 months, make it 2 years. Make it a whole course. I mean, like doctors, before they even cut open a fucking body, they got to spend like 4 or 5 years.
Do you feel like you have an opportunity, Darryl, to live the life that you want for yourself, or do you feel like what does it feel like every day for you, like trying to move ahead?
I mean, it's difficult because like it's more like being conditioned to believe and just like being hated on. I mean, like, it's like whatever situation like you go into, you know that you're gonna be like resented or like not accepted or just shitted on for no reason. So moving forward, I mean, like, it's more so a mindset for me. It's like mental, I mean, like not mental, but therapy that I need in order to change that mindset. But just in general, as far as like opportunity goes, I mean, like, I'm grateful because like before this whole thing even happened, I was like a presented opportunity to work in like one of like the most prestigious fashion like houses there, I mean, in the world. And like I'm just grateful for the opportunities to come in my life. I guess I could just say I'm blessed because like good things just happen to me. But at the same time, I mean, like, just moving forward, if I had to like cook, like if I see a door and I'm having to push it to get through, and like, I don't know if I'm saying like makes any sense, but like, it's just,
yeah, we understand what you're saying. It's
just
you feel fortunate to have some of the opportunities that you've had, but you know, typically speaking, it's not easy to obtain those.
Yeah, and even to move up where I'm at, I know I'm gonna see it.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
what is your thought on it?
Yeah. So there's a lot. First, the idea of the police. My man, first of all, he said a very important thing. He said therapy. I want to table that word. That is going to be, I hope, imbued in all that I speak on right now. But I'm going to table that idea for now. So think about police. When I think about police, I think about who needs police. What is the idea of the police? It's for correction. It's ideally to help when someone's in error, to recorrect, to punish when someone's done wrong, hopefully so that they can learn. The idea of the police is to protect. So I like to equate that to what ideally a parent, the role of a parent of a person is. The role of a parent in someone's life is to do exactly what the police ideally are to do for us as a community. So I think about people who don't need the police. Right now in our society, we have people who are not policed. Who is that? Well, argument can be made for whichever, but for me, it seems like wealthy white men, people who are having their hands on the direction of society. These people are not policed. These people are doing the policing. So as a man, you asked about the question as a man. I do not believe that fully and completely developed men and fully and completely developed women need policing. I think we police ourselves.
Come on.
Just like me as a grown man, I don't need my mother. I don't need my father. That is what if they did their jobs correctly, they have poured into me so that I am a man and I can police and I can parent myself.
Come on.
So that I can have children. So defunding the police, reform to the police, it all sounds great.
Come on.
Yes, I think it is a step in the right direction. I don't think that it will actually do anything to change the condition that we are in, because it's not something that we as a people have ever needed. It's something that was placed on us. So I want to separate us from the idea that we believe that we need to be policed at all, even if it was with $2 in their bank account. We don't need the police, we need ourselves. But we need ourselves, going back to the word of therapy. We need ourselves completely. We need ourselves fully and developed. Here we go to something else.
Come on, Pastor Henley.
Here we go to something else.
Sure, you relate to Malcolm X?
No, I wish.
Just like, I'm sorry, you sound like the sound of your words. Sorry.
I was born in Detroit. That might have something to do with it. Anyway, the this conversation, talk about Black men being in some type of spotlight that we have never yet found ourselves in this country. That is very important. And I believe that we are in, Dale gets on me because I say this, I believe that we are in an unprecedented time simply because of that fact, that the Black man who has been absent, not just from American society, but most importantly from our families. And we don't know, we have attributed to that to so many different things. They've labeled it for so many other things, but right now, on a national scale, on an international scale, the conversation is being had and the truth is being revealed as to why there is an absence of the Black man and the dismemberment of the Black family. We are starting to see that, and I don't give a fuck if white people or any other person of color is understanding this now, or if that conversation starts to die down in a couple of months or a couple of years, or even in a couple of days or weeks. I actually don't give a fuck. Where I do care is that we don't forget about it. So that the people who, we're very fortunate, all the people on this call are very fortunate to have access to whatever education that we did, whether that be our family members, whether that be us being a special star student, or us just having the fortitude to go after information, that we understand the conditions that put us in the place that we are, so that we don't wrongly and incorrectly ascribe our condition to our own shortcomings or lack thereof, anything. And so that we don't start to see ourselves and start to beat on our own self-esteem, limiting our own potential. I think right now, because unfortunately Black folks, as a means of survival, have had to appease to white folks for everything, like I said, as a means of survival, we seek validation in them. So I think right now that the conversation and the truth is being revealed and had by other people, white folks, maybe hopefully that's an opportunity for us, some of us, to be like, wow, I've never understood this in a way that I could digest it in a way that was palatable to me. And so now I have the truth is being revealed. And once the truth is revealed, you, going back to the word therapy, because I've had my own developing that I've had to do, looking at our community as a body, we must go through therapy. And just as I had to do as a person in order to grow, we have to heal, period, point blank. We have to heal as a people in order for us to acknowledge, reckon with, turn, and then move forward. Yeah. And in order for me to do that as a person, I had to do that work. In order for us to do that as a community, we have to do that work. This is not a system that we designed. This is a system that we inherited. So we have an opportunity right now. We're at the beginning stages of it. I know we've been here for 400 plus years, but we are now at my personal belief, is my opinion, that we are at a beginning stage. The first opportunity, because of what you said, that the Black man is now being put up in a position, women, don't get me wrong, in a position that he ought to have been in the first place. And the reason why the world's so fucked is because he wasn't in that position at all. And you can't fucking keep a thing down. You kill it, and when you do that, you exalt it. Mm-hmm. Especially the Black person. So anyways, in short, I know I'm long-winded. I'm sorry, I know I'm long-winded.
You're like me.
In closing, I truly believe that we need to have a community and a collective and a holistic healing in order for us to make any real progress, in order for us to see that we don't need anything outside of who we are for us.
Thank you so much for sharing that perspective. And actually, I think with a lot of the stuff that you and the passion that you and Darryl both have when you speak about just, being Black and surviving being a Black man, I think we can relate. And many of the women on the call as well, because we had to take care of and support, the Black men in our lives. And so I want to pivot.
Can I add one last thought, Darisha? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But I want us to, there's so many different languages out there, or so many different vocabulary words, whatever you want to call it. So there's an idea of defunding the police, the idea of disbanding the police, the idea of eradicating the police, and the idea of police reform. And sometimes people use those words interchangeably, but they all mean so many different things. But we have to remember that the original creation of the police so police could be slave catchers, right? So when we talk about police, we have to remember that first, and also remember that language, and take some time to look at Camden and what they did in New Jersey with disbanding their police, but really look at the history of police and why they were here. And so a system that wasn't set up to serve us can no longer fully serve us in today's society.
Yeah, like it was inevitable that this was going to happen. We were going to arrive here inevitably because the system was just dysfunctional. So I want to ask, I'm sorry, go ahead, Anissa.
This is the last thing, right before you go on to the next part. I just want to get some clarity on. It sounds like, I don't know what everybody thinks, but I sound like everybody is like, police gotta go. Police. Everybody fucked around. Hey, come up, you put a finger.
You know, I saw this meme that said, everybody is saying, you know, fuck the police, whatever. And, you know, our people who don't look like us are getting real mad saying, why are you saying F the police? And somebody said, if the police were doing their job, nobody would be saying F the police. You don't never hear nobody saying F the fire department. You never hear people.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah. Totally. I just wanted to open it up to folks who are listening in. Please use the chat box. A lot was said already. What do you think? What are you all thinking about? What comes to mind? If you want to hop in the call, now is a good time to do that before we transition. So what are folks thinking? And this is open now to Black folks first, but also allies, you can chime in as well.
Shout out to Christian for that beautiful piece. We need more Black men like that who are like, nah, fuck that. Stand up. Stand up.
Totally.
I will say that I have a dear friend who's a part of the Nation of Islam, and so she's had some of the same conversations that, you know, have come up. And I'm all about, like, we don't need to let white people set our standards for what we should be. And obviously, like, the nature of a lion is to attack, right? To prey on it. So it's like you trying to go out and tell a lion, don't do that. Like, just eat plants. You know, and so that's how I feel about the situation. And I hope that we touch on that a little bit when we talk about economic mobility, because a lot of people are trying to set a standard for our economics based on what white people are talking about and capitalism. So I'd be interested in hearing what the panelists got to think about that, since we mentioned white standards earlier.
Totally. Anybody else?
Money, honey.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear the question because my phone was capitalism. What was the question?
It wasn't a question. It was a comment about the same way we feel about police, like defunding it, disbanding it, whatever. That conversation can be applied to economics as well when we talk about capitalism. Like, is capitalism directly related to the Black liberation? And I would argue that probably not.
Okay, wait. Okay, sorry. I loved your question. I wanted to jump in this time. But okay, now that's what I'm saying. Because the thing is, this is the thing, y'all. There's only so many schools of thought in the Black community. This is what I figured out. There's only so many ways you're going to think. It's only so many ways you're going to go. So therefore, when we talk about capitalism, I love this coming out. This is the part I think that everybody gets all best at. Okay, because we did pretty good with the defund. I want some anarchy. I want some people to get mad. I want to see some emotion. And Christian, you brought it. That was good. So what I want to say is that
Anissa ready to get into it, y'all.
Okay, so here we go. We got capitalism. All right. So people say, oh, you know, because there's been arguments. You know, a big argument back in the day. My parents are, you know, my big argument back in the day was Black Panthers. I got Black Panthers in my family. I'm from Oakland, okay, and I got a lot of initiatives on. So we got the whole thing, right? So not the whole thing, but two parts of a 12-tribe nation. Anyway, so a big criticism, because see, the Black Panthers, they follow Mao Zedong, and they follow the Asian, more communist kind of rhetoric of economy. And the Nation of Islam is like, oh, you know, give us 5 cents a month, and you know, we're gonna take our temples, we're gonna have businesses, we're gonna have schools, we're gonna have all these things in place for you, right? Okay, so this is the thing about capitalism, and this is I'm gonna form this into a question. If we are to have, I'm not gonna say if, when we are to have a new economic standard, because I think we all agree that capitalism, first of all, I want to say this about capitalism itself. We are the original capital. Capitalism doesn't exist until they stole Black bodies from Africa, and we are the means of production that gave this country 500 years of economic wealth and advantage above the whole world, and they still broke. Oh my God, these motherfuckers are so incompetent. Anyway, I just want to say this. We are the original capital. Capitalism didn't exist until slavery in this manner did. Because also there was slavery in the world, but it never existed like this. You're owned for the rest of your life, and you can't practice your religion, your mother tongue, or your culture. You have your name or anything like that. This is brand new. This is a new concept in the world. So being that this what has happened to us has been completely new, never happened to anybody else, and that we're the original capital. When we get our new system, it's gonna have to be something new. But for now, for right now, how else are we going to get out of this if we don't build some wealth? Because that's how this world operates. That's my question. If not capitalism,
that's a big question of the hour.
What is the other answer? Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. Anybody?
Wow.
Well, look, me personally, I have extremist views. So, so anyway, look, yeah, I see the difference between the Panthers and the Nation. They're obviously a similar fight, same fight. They were taking two different avenues to it, which you just kind of touched on. Me personally, I see the value in both. So as far as what we need to do, it depends. If you're trying to do a fight, if you're trying to do something that you think can be done right now, can people still see me? Because okay. If you're trying to do something that you believe can be done right now, then yes, amass wealth. Take money, try to, do what you could do in this capitalistic structure so that you can be self-reliant here. I'm with that. But I also see the argument of a communistic type of approach to your finances, because I believe, it just feels like it, that the capitalistic structure is inherently tied to Eurocentric views of life, that I amass and that I deserve to have more than everyone else. This is something that I don't believe is inherently within us. I think we have more of a abundance mindset that gives way to a capitalistic structure that they're not yet they don't want to see. So that argument, whatever. I don't care. Depends. Whatever you want to do. Ultimately speaking, I see us in a more communistic type of direction. I think it works better for the way that we operate as beings, which is probably why we are in, a part of the reason why we don't. No, I'm not even going to say that. I stopped there.
Okay, so communism versus socialism. Let's define them. What's the difference? And which do we feel is better than general?
Well, communism and socialism to me are in the same world. They're the same thing, except one is socialism is more to the social programming and the social structures of a society, where communism has that, but it also is imbued within its financing, its means of production, as far as your finances, your common wealth. So it's the same. Socialistic society. So for example, capitalism is the baby to imperialism, and then socialism is the baby to communism. So it's the same thing. Socialism and communism. It's just a degrees separation, if you will. There's a shit ton of socialistic approaches. You have so many. So it's a big umbrella term. So I don't separate the two for me.
I guess my question is, we talk a lot about building intergenerational wealth. We talk a lot about, what it looks like to further our education, right? Black people are getting educated at a far higher rate than we've ever seen in the history of our experience in America, right? So we have Black art that is thriving in every aspect you could think about Black art. And yet and still, even the smartest of us, even the ones who are the most well-resourced and well-connected, we often fall short economically, oftentimes, obviously because of the systemic issues, but also because of the lack of generational knowledge, like we just don't have a lot of people who know money, who know wealth, who know home ownership, who know how to get a loan, who know, like a lot of Black kids, especially poor Black kids living in poverty, you could take it all the way in LA or all the way across right here to Chicago or down to Florida. It looks the same everywhere. right? With just a little different flavor. And you have a lot of Black kids who are, before they turn 18, who have bad credit just because they're growing up in poverty and other people have used their names and their identities. So my question is, we know that capitalism facilitates more opportunities for racism to exist. And we know that we need to gain some type of economic ground and independence economically, but how do we arrive there when there are so many institutional barriers that inhibit Black people from accessing opportunities that help them grow economically? What does that look like? You know, like a lot of the stuff that I'm learning right now, I've had to learn from talking to a lot of people. Black people who are even middle class, Black people, upper middle class, first generation people like me, we do a lot of peer learning, right? Where we're learning from our peers who have done it first. And so the question is, what does that look like when you're trying to figure it out? Maybe if you're anything like me, you're in the sandwich generation where you're taking care of our parents and our grandparents while also having to take care of ourselves. And some people have children now. What does that look like? How do we get ourselves out of an economic mess when we still exist in the context of America?
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to be very brief because I know I'm kind of starting to dominate this thing. So I'll be very brief. My apologies. I think that what you just said, how do we get out of this system when it knows that we're not going to be able to? Well, you simply do that. I believe that we need our own dollar. I think that if we had a community and then we had our own dollar, and we circulated that dollar and we started baby steps, we did our own thing. Now, is that practical? Maybe not. I said that I'm an extremist. I do think it can be done. I think that it has been done. The dollar that we know is a dollar that was created. So we do that for ourselves and we just rebel against their system completely. That's all I got.
I want to give a little bit of historical, thank you for sharing that, Christian, just to give us a little bit of historical context, because we're speaking about it as if it's an idea that hasn't already taken place, right? So one of the biggest hits to Black businesses or the movement of money in Black businesses, one of the biggest hits to that was desegregation, right? So when desegregation happened, that's when you started to see the decline in Black businesses, and the social structure of that is, oh, well, we've desegregated and now everyone can go wherever they want and shop wherever they want and spend their money wherever they want. But the history behind that most people don't talk about is that it was the biggest threat to our Black businesses. It literally took our money from being in one place, and I'm going to Darisha's, I don't know, soap store, or I'm going to Carmen's produce store and I'm purchasing from her. And we were brainwashed into the idea of thinking that, well, now we get an opportunity to go shop with white folks and it's going to somehow be better. The experience will be better for us. And so that, just to give like a little bit of historical context, desegregation was one of the biggest threats to Black businesses. And so we can't think of it as, oh, well, the idea of keeping our money in one location or keeping our money in one area is foreign, because it's not foreign to us, right? We've been there, done that, but now we're in a society that has us believing, oh, we need to just be free to spend our money anywhere, right? That's why when you go somewhere and you're like, oh, I want to support, there's some people who will say like, I want to support Black businesses, but it's too expensive, or coming up with these things, these ideas about why they shouldn't support, why they won't support Black businesses, these excuses that were literally indoctrinated us or put into us in order to not support ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to add that idea a little bit about the idea of buying Black or supporting Black businesses isn't a foreign idea to us. And we got to remember what moved us or shifted us from that thinking.
Yeah, girl, that was a bar. Listen.
Wow.
Because, you know what? I mean, wow. You know, because I don't know everybody on this panel, you know. But, you know, I'm proud of us, man. I mean, I just want to say, man, the general mindset of Black people today is just so uplifting and encouraging, because I just feel like we are finally like, hold up, y'all tricked us. I mean, we're finally like,
we've been bamboozled.
Yeah, like we're collectively like, hold on, wait, y'all really are not our friends at all. Wow. And I really am so happy to see it. And I think even what you just said, Miss KaDijah, goes back to the whole defund the police, integration, and everything, because it's like, it's just deep. It's deep. It's deep. But anyway, I want to move forward, because I think that what you said was just an excellent summary to how we got in the position that we're in, and it's kind of the answer too, because it's like that's what we need to go back to doing. It's supporting our own, and it's just that kind
Black Renaissance for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it is. And the thing is now it's not only Black buying Black, it's everybody buying Black, because what you realize is that this earth, I mean, don't get me started, because this earth don't spin without us. Do you hear?
Come on, say that.
If too many of us die, do you hear me? When we die, it's earthquakes, it's hurricanes. I mean, let me tell you, we have the complete control over the way this universe operates. So
research the Black dollar and how far the Black dollar goes. That's why the without Black people or only Black Day is so important, because the Black dollar goes so far.
And can't you see how all these businesses are shook right now? Like, you got Starbucks over here like, hey, no, we like you.
Black Lives Matter. Netflix, Black Lives Matter. Black people don't go nowhere. We need your money. We love y'all. We support y'all.
Yeah, and I think what Christian said in the beginning about focusing on his self and really starting from the place where you're like, I don't need, I think we all really have to start honing in on the concept of, what can I do, like me right now for myself, like in my house, in my personal home, how can I, because I think it gets really scary and confusing when we start talking about economic freedom and, socialists, and it gets like my brain, like, because I'm already half educated as it is. But, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us in his program, get together and pull your resources. Take 6 to 8 people, like-minded individuals that have your same vision, your same attitude, and put your money in. That's what the Asian people do when they come in our communities and set up beauty shops and treat us like shit. That's what the Koreans do when they pop up, and then the Arabs with the damn liquor stores. So I think it's just something we have to like kind of train ourselves, and our children, like this is just our nature. This is how we are. So we got to start, and I don't think it's that hard. There's people that are actually doing it. I just think that it's going to take more of us to take personal responsibility and maybe stop, worrying about what the next person is doing if we're not actually. So that's another thing about me. I'm trying to like, put that in myself, like, okay, what can I do? Because if I do something, and I get some people, in my corner and start building, then I can justify me running my mouth. Because I think we kind of do that a lot. we get to talking and arguing in this, but we just about to go to Starbucks in 5 minutes.
Right.
So,
sorry.